Good evening and welcome back to Timberborn, here with our Folktails in Update 5. And this is the final episode. We have finally managed to achieve almost perfection. This series has been going on for a while. This is episode 75. And it's been going since September last year, since September 2023, and this episode should go up on the 29th of February. Hey, it's a leap year. So yeah, 4 months in the making. This series has been, and it's been awesome and fantastic, and we are there. We are good. I have had to change a few things. Between episodes, I have built down here a strip and a bit here of doing. We changed the pine resin last time. We changed these down here to pine resin. These are doing beautifully. This amount of pine is enough to keep our area going. I have also put in a large warehouse up here. We changed this up here because I needed more storage. So we've got a large warehouse of pine resin, so that is good. And I got rid of the pine trees up here and put in more oak trees, as well as oak trees here and oak trees down here. And they're all being chopped down because, well, the ratios of things are interesting. This amount of this amount of maple is just enough. I think it might not be now because of a change I've made a little bit ago, but we might do a little bit more, but it's close enough. Chestnuts is good enough. This is fine for chestnuts. This is fine here. Field wise, we need a bit more grain, a bit more corn, a bit more wheat. Sorry, but then we don't. I will explain. It's all a bit weird. Potatoes didn't need added potatoes. One field would have been enough. We could have halved the carrots, probably. We can halve the carrots. Basically, because of the beehives, everything is awesome. Everything is wonderful. It's fantastic. We are producing way too much spider dock and cattail. Yes, that's true. Sunflowers, we're producing way too much. So yeah, that's true. We could definitely fix our log problem. But our log problem isn't a serious problem, if that makes sense. We have... There's a weird balance thing going on here, so let me try and explain here. So, we don't have enough wheat to keep the supply going. However, what happens is we use up all our wood, and once all the wood has been used, we can no longer cook the bread. Our bread supply drops slightly, the bread supply drops slightly. Not very far, it only drops down to sort of about 800 or so. And then the trees grow and we get a surplus of wood in, and it jumps up to almost 3,000 sometimes, depending on the sequence. This down here gets done as well. And we'll go up to about 3,000 wood. And then whilst the trees are growing again, we start using the wood, which pops up our bread, which then uses all the wheat, so there isn't enough wheat for the grits mills to be going, so our surplus of flour starts dropping, and then when we don't have the trees, they're not baking it, so this taps out, which means this grows up, and it waves. So sometimes we've got excess wheat, sometimes we have excess trees, sometimes we have excess flour. It kind of, but it is a balance. It does work. We have never run out of food. Any description there. We did run out of maple pastries at one point. That's why I chopped down all these trees here. From the last episode, we were chopping down all the maple. They basically did that. They chopped down all the maple. There was no tree. There was like 2 rows of trees left at the top they couldn't reach. And our wood still wasn't going up, and it wasn't great. That's why I put this in here, because this row here, it's a 6 wide row of oak wood here, is the equivalent to this entire maple farm. Because of how much wood you get from the maples. You only get 6 from the maples in 28 days. You get 8 from these in 30 days. But, I think the 6 of these is the equivalent to what we were chopping down here. So I was trying to figure it out, and I think it's it works that way. And oh no, that's what it is. So these 6 rows here and this here is the equivalent to chopping down all of the maple trees that we had. That's what it was. Those 2 little patches of oak would be the same amount of wood coming in per day on average as this entire area here. So we got rid of a little bit of the maple, but not all of it, so that's good. Maple syrup, I think, might be dropping slightly because we need maple syrup to make catalyst, and catalyst has been a bit of a pain. So I have 4 here now working on catalyst, maple syrup, and we've got 2 on biofuel. Biofuel is it's down on what it was before, so I think we do need 3 of these making biofuel. However, I changed one of these to be chassis because something was wrong with this here. My robot assemblers, the bot assemblers, 2 of them were struggling to get chassis, and that doesn't make any sense. Now they're struggling to get heads. Apparently, no, you are running, but one of them was actually waiting for chassis. So I changed one over to chassis to do the limbs, and now we've dropped in limbs. So I'll probably need to change it back to make limbs again. Let's do that. But I can only think that I know what it is. It's that some of our bots aren't getting the catalyst needed, and some are. So some get bonuses, some don't get bonuses, some get this, some get the other, blah 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 blah. So yeah. But the weirdest thing is that it only seems to affect. I would have expected it to affect bot heads and chassis, because bot heads take 18 hours and chassis also take 18 hours. But it was only affecting one, not the other. So that didn't make any sense at all. So I don't know. Something's and even if I put a surplus in for all the goods here, we would just fill up on bot heads using all the resources making the bot heads, and we weren't making enough chassis to even fill up a small storage. So a surplus of goods wouldn't have helped there at all. We would just run out of one and over the other. So yeah, but hopefully we can get more catalyst in to get things going. But I don't think we will. I think catalyst is I just don't think catalyst is going to happen. You need probably, if we have 3 doing biofuel, we probably need 6 doing catalyst. So so that's going to be a bit of a problem. But catalyst is optional. It's not desperately important. So the only other major issue we have is the power. Obviously, these ones on the end here don't have as much storage as the others because there's stuff below them they hit. But when we run out of power, that obviously drops our happiness because our carousels and other bits and pieces just don't work. So the happiness dips down to about 58, and then when the power comes back again, it raises back up again, and everything's awesome, wonderful, and fantastic. You, my friend, do not keep your happiness between things. It's very interesting, however, looking at this, because all the foods degrade at the same time. I thought the foods degraded slower based on the happiness. So I thought maple pastries, they didn't need to eat as often because it was a bigger happiness. But no, as you can see, all the food degrades at the same time. So I'm going to do a little experiment with Vriska when we finish this, because this is the final episode. I'm going to boost the stats again. I'm going to unlock them, and I'm going to see how many days it takes for the stuff to degrade down, and I will try and make a note of what it is. So how long does a campfire last at 100%? Because if you know how long in days like a campfire lasts, you can figure out how many campfires you need based on your population for like the bare minimum. So say a campfire only lasts 1 day, and a campfire can support five beavers. You need whatever your population is divided by 5 amount of campfires. So because if they need to get a hit from that every day, they need to get campfire bonus every day. So yeah, so that's nice to know. That is very nice to know. I don't remember when I paused, unpaused. I don't remember the time for it, so I don't know how long it's here. But it also tells me the food, how long the food's going to take to run out. So you can figure out exactly how much. You could figure out the numbers. You know exactly how big a field you need depending on your beavers. So if you have 320 beavers like we do, you can figure out exactly how many carrots you need. Which yeah, I think that would be interesting to try and figure out. Just get the numbers down would be nice to do there. So because it's always nice because we need more trees. We desperately need more trees. You can see the trees. Oh, they've got 3.6 thousand, so that's good. But they will dip again at some point because all these trees will end up in a growth cycle. So yeah, but whilst they're growing, the wood drops down, actually runs out, and then we get the trees back and it jumps back up again. So. But overall, I am happy. I am very happy with this here. I think this has worked very well. It is something that I can just set to full speed and just let play, and it would last forever. I feel like it would last forever. It would never run out of things like that. Some stuff would drop down. I mean, we might run out of biofuel, so probably to change a biofuel back, that'd be it. Catalyst is optional. It just adds a bonus. Adds a bonus to your bots, which makes things work faster. But it's not needed. We don't need the catalyst, so yeah. Agora, contemplation bots. Let's actually Risker. Let's boost your. Whoa. Let's boost Risker up again and see whether Risker is the reason. Boop. Boost. Freeze. But no, Risker's not the reason we're at 65. I did hit 65 well-being. I did see the pop-up. So it did happen at one point. So I know I've hit it. I don't think it stayed there for very long, but we did hit it just temporarily. So yeah, so carrots there. The biggest issue we have is when beavers, like the shelter. See, there's a little bit of the shelter there. That's going to be a new beaver. Beavers that were just born will either not be in shelter or not be, or haven't gone to sleep yet. So yeah, yeah. It's all working. It's all beautiful. It's all wonderful. The only issue we ever had, as I said, is power, which causes everything to stop, which isn't a terrible thing because when like the grits mills and stuff stop, the surplus just takes over anyway, and it gives the farms a little time to grow, like the grain a bit to grow. So everything is good. Everything is wonderful. A bit more wheat wouldn't hurt terribly, and wouldn't hurt our potatoes as well. We could take like one more set of beehives for the wheat, and then that would work fine there. As I said, biofuel's gone up now. Okay, so maybe biofuel is good. We just catalyst is just is too much. Catalyst is too much. We need more. We need more catalyst. So which we could put in. We could put in down there. We are struggling. We've got a couple of places with no bots in, but overall, I am happy. I am very, very, very happy with this whole system here. We do have every single type of food, and it is all completely capped out. Everything's all done. So there is much rejoicing. So we're going to leave this here. We are done. We are sorted. We are happy. Let me zoom it out. Oh, he says obviously not pushing the button because of stuffs. There we go. There's our world. There is our world. Let's turn this way because that the more. There it is. There it is. All done. All dusted. All happy. 322-ish beavers, depending on what ones are born and where. But 320 beavers. Happy, content, maximum happiness. Supplied for. Perfectly working. Fully automated. No mods needed. Fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this series. It's been a lot of fun. The map looks nothing like it did when we started, which is fantastic, you know. So we'll have to see what's going to come next. I have absolutely no idea. But until then, and as always, have fun.